Star Trek Resurgence is a fun trick-oriented romp that I would describe as a game that has some interesting pieces that differentiate it from Telltale Studios, but I would have guessed was an unpolished work that the company needed to work on. It was, of course, not made by Telltales, but instead Dramatic Labs. At the moment, if I'm honest, they are definitely not distinguishable enough from their originator to have their own standing, but I'm very excited for what the future has for them. For the record, I do enjoy the game. I think it's worth a buy. Though, like Telltale's games, you really will only ever play it once, twice, maybe 3 times, and then it loses a lot of its gameplay ability. That is, of course, my personal opinion, but there you are. However, that's not why we're here. We're here for one of the best inspirational speeches given to a Vulcan that I've ever seen in Trek. Let's just get into it.
We are now running our core at 105% of recommended capacity. If we try to meet that frequency, we will generate a harmonic imbalance of our own and risk a warp core breach. I must warn you, these are precisely the engine conditions that Captain Solano's experiment brought about.
A little bit of background. For reasons I won't disclose, an entire Federation fleet is in danger and you, as the captain, are trying to figure out a way to save the day. Thanks to some tech, you might be able to techno-magic your way out of it, but it involves putting everyone in danger. Add on to this that you are a new captain, long story, and that you're asking your officers to do something that was similar to what the previous captain had tried to do, which got a lot of people killed. Now we're off to the races. So, now that you have the background, we are being confronted by the Vulcan chief engineer when we ask him to do the exact same thing or something similar to what the last captain did. And the question becomes, how does the protagonist respond? How do you respond? Well, ultimately, it's a choice. That's a part of the gameplay. But I absolutely love the response that I chose and what a lot of people seem to choose.
I must warn you, these are precisely the engine conditions that Captain Solano's experiment brought about.
Is my order beyond your ability to execute? Then you will follow it. We're all counting on you.
Yes, Captain.
I know it was brief, but this right here, this simple interaction, is somehow simultaneously gut-punching the chief engineer, the Vulcan, and inspiring them. Vulcans, contrary to popular belief, are not just automatons. They are guided by logic, but they also still feel, whether they want to admit it or not. They do not like being challenged. They don't like being told they can't do something when they know they can. The captain, or you, directly challenges the chief engineer in this simple discussion, asking if it's something that both of them know he can do. If this had been an emotional being, she might have did it a little bit differently, might have said something like, "So you're telling me that you can't do this, that you're not up for the job." But she turns those statements into a logical query. This, for me, is peak Star Trek writing. Starfleet personnel are often the best of the best. They not only can deal with most situations, but know how to effectively use their resources and their people. She speaks to the Vulcan and not only puts him in check, but inspires him. And by inspiring him, she ultimately inspires the crew. The chief engineer knows that he can do it, and you start to see your crew respond when he gains that confidence. Make no mistake here. He had lost confidence in this ability. He wasn't sure if he knew what he was doing. He wasn't sure if he wanted to do something that could get people killed. And it wasn't because of some grandiose speech. It wasn't some appeal to the greater good like Starfleet, or that they're all going to get through this together. She recognized that she needed to put a snobby Vulcan in his place. Now, whether they save the day or not, whether this works, that's ultimately up to you. Again, it's a game. You get to choose what happens, but this was so inspiring, so very Trek. I figured I'd share it with you guys. But these are my thoughts. If you played this game and you chose this option or chose other options, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next Lore Reloaded.